All right, let's talk about corporate governance. Now, I know it sounds a little technical, right? But stick with me. This is actually the invisible rule book, the hidden force that decides if the companies you invest in, work for, and buy from are going to thrive or just spectacularly collapse.
I mean, seriously, how does that even happen? You've got a massive company, a household name, thousands of employees, a stock price that's through the roof. One day it's a titan of industry, the next, it's basically a crater in the ground. How? Well, the answer lies in one of the most jaw-dropping corporate scandals you'll ever hear about, the implosion of India's Satyam Computer Services. This story is a perfect and, yeah, a really painful lesson in why all this governance stuff matters so much.
And get this, it happens so fast it would give you whiplash. We're talking about a 72-hour window. In just 3 days, a company that was the absolute pride of India's tech scene went from being a market leader to a full-blown national crisis. On January 6th, business as usual. By the 7th, the chairman confesses to literally making up numbers for years. The fallout was just immediate and absolutely devastating.
So let's break it down. What really went wrong here? Well, for starters, management was just flat out lying about money they didn't have. So there goes transparency. And the board, the people who were supposed to be the watchdogs, they completely failed to catch it, which is a total breakdown of accountability. And the result? Investors lost everything. The scandal was so huge that India had to basically rewrite its corporate laws to stop it from ever happening again.
The best way to think about it is like this. A company is a high-tech airplane. You can have the most powerful engines and a great destination, but if your flight control system, all the instruments and rules that keep you stable in the air, if that system fails, a crash is pretty much guaranteed. That flight control system, that's corporate governance. And Satyam, well, they were flying completely blind.
Okay, so if we want to keep that plane in the air, we need to understand the control system, right? There are really 5 core principles here. And when these are followed, they protect pretty much everyone involved, from the biggest investor to the newest employee.
First up, we've got transparency. And this one is super simple. Don't hide the ball. It just means being honest and clear about your finances, your performance, and any risks you're facing. It's about operating out in the open where everyone can see what's going on.
And why is that so critical? Well, think about it. You can't trust what you can't see. When a company is transparent, investors know what they're getting into, and customers know who they're dealing with. It is the absolute foundation of trust.
Next is accountability. This basically means the buck has to stop somewhere. The people at the very top, the board, the CEO, they can't just make huge decisions and then walk away if things go south. They have to be answerable for the outcomes, both the good and the bad.
At the end of the day, accountability is the only real check on power. It's what makes sure that leaders are acting in the company's best interest, not just their own. It's what stops a tiny error in judgment from spiraling into a company-killing catastrophe.
Our third principle is fairness. This one's easy to understand. It means the rules have to apply to everyone, equally. It doesn't matter if you're a giant hedge fund or just a small-time investor with a few shares, your rights have to be protected. No special treatment, no insider's game.
And you know, fairness isn't just some nice-to-have ideal, it's just smart business. If investors feel like the game is rigged, they'll take their money and go somewhere else. Simple as that. Fairness builds the confidence a company needs to survive and grow for the long haul.
Fourth on our list is responsibility. This goes a step beyond just, not breaking the law. It's about acting with integrity. It's about recognizing that a company has a duty to be ethical to everyone it affects, its employees, its customers, and the community.
And here's the bottom line on this one. A company's reputation is one of its most valuable assets. Unethical behavior can torch that reputation overnight, and that leads to lawsuits, angry customers, and a stock price in free fall. Being responsible is basically a shield against all of that.
And finally, number 5, risk management. This is the forward-looking piece of the puzzle. It's about not waiting for problems to hit you in the face. It means actively looking out at the horizon for potential trouble, whether it's financial, operational, whatever, and actually having a plan to deal with it.
And that is so key. Good governance isn't just some boring compliance checklist to keep the lawyers happy. It's the strategic navigation system that lets a company steer around icebergs and confidently chart a course for growth. It's about playing offense, not just defense.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. The Satyam scandal, that was a while ago. But believe me, these principles are more important right now than ever. Let's look at a couple of really recent examples that show how this is all playing out today.
So here you have it.
two companies on two completely different tracks. On one side, you have Blue Smart, staring down insolvency because of a massive breakdown in accountability and risk management. The board just didn't do its job, and now the whole company is at risk. But then you look at CL Energy, and they're literally winning awards for their excellent governance. It's proof that being transparent and accountable is something to be celebrated.
The contrast here could not be more clear, could it? One path leads to a crisis, the other leads to awards and a real competitive advantage. It just proves the point. Good governance isn't just a safety net to avoid disaster. It's a launchpad for success.
So after all that, why should you personally care about any of this boardroom stuff? Well, because these principles have a direct, real-world impact on your life, whether you realize it or not.
So here's something you can actually use. Think of it as a quick governance checklist. The next time you're thinking about investing in a company, or taking a job there, or even just buying their stuff, ask these 5 questions. Are they open about things? Who takes the blame when things go wrong? Do they treat people fairly? The answers will tell you almost everything you need to know about the true health of that company.
Because in the end, this is what it all boils down to. Good governance protects the money you've worked hard to invest. It helps create a workplace culture that's fair and ethical. And it makes sure that the companies making the stuff you rely on every single day are actually stable, reliable, and built to last. And that really leaves us with one final, and I think pretty important question to chew on. Think about the companies that are woven into your life. Your bank, your job, your favorite brands. Who's making sure their flight control system is actually working? Who is holding them accountable? It's a question worth asking.